What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. Today is a special episode. I got a man that's very important, making all types of moves in film, in music, in fashion and apparel. Definitely somebody, if you don't know, you need to get to know. Peter Grams. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing lovely, man. How about you? How you
Man,
moving out
man, all is well. I can't complain. COVID tried to take us out, but man,
there?
we maintaining out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the other end of this. Things could get to moving again.
For sure, for
Matter,
sure.
matter of fact, speaking of that, I was gonna ask you, how did COVID like kind of affect how you were moving, like as far as with your different business ventures and things like that?
Man, so like, luckily for me, right?
Mhm.
I don't work in the music business. I work in the entertainment business as a whole.
Yeah.
And so it's like when COVID happened, certain areas of what I was involved in,
Hmm.
it took a decline, but I was able to revive myself in other areas, and capitalize in other areas where I probably wouldn't have been able to if it wasn't for COVID. And so, like, what I mean, like I manage artists, right? And
Hmm.
so, I specialize in not just being the mouthpiece for the artist or the representative for the artist, but actually developing the brand and developing the whole concept and idea behind the artist, right?
Right. Right.
And make that translatable to the public to where it resonates with them, and then a connection is made, and now fans are born, and now the artist has a career. But when COVID happened, it was
Mm.
like the entire music business took a major L, because I mean, we can start from the top tier to the third tier, right? And so, like,
Hmm.
let me explain what I mean by the tiers, right? It's like the top tier would be considered like your Drakes, your Kendrick Lamars, your Beyonces, and all your top selling Future, all your top selling sold out tour arenas around the world artists. That's top tier. And then, like, say the
Hmm.
second tier would be guys who are right on the cusp of like one record away from being a Drake or a Kendrick, but they're not quite there yet, but they're above the underground though. And so I'm
Uh,
talking about, say, like your Gucci Manes, or like, say, 21 Savage, or say, like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
The
Like
in between,
yeah. I was
they
gonna say
kind of
like
like,
Gunna, Little Baby, people
yeah,
like that.
like
Yeah.
Gunna, Lil Baby, there you go. Exactly. And so then you got the third tier, which is like your up and coming independent artists in the streets, doing the Chitlin circuit, open mics, and just, the beginners, like at the beginning stage of the process, right?
Yeah.
And so I represent everybody in between on all three tiers. So when the first tier took a major hit during COVID, it was as a result of, you gotta understand, these guys got like $1 million a month lifestyles,
Yeah.
not because of their own personal habits, but because they support so many people and take care of so many people. And so now the major source of revenue for the artists during that time was no more because of social distance. And so we can't do shows, we can't do tours, now that's going on. And so a major chunk of the revenue for artists and everybody associated with the artists took a major decline. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? And then number two, the American people was like in a state of disarray. It was almost
Hmm.
like the Great Depression happened again, because people were losing their jobs, unemployment wasn't coming through. So wasn't nobody trying to buy or listen to no new music from any new artists. You feel what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
was trying to figure out how we're gonna keep these lights on, and things like that. And how we're gonna find some toilet paper and everything else. So it was even hard on the third tier to try to break a new artist, because nobody was into none of that at the moment. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And so for me, on the music side, I'm like, okay, hip hop is effectively dead at the moment, right?
Hmm.
And so I had some film projects that I had in works. And so, of course, with film, we have more control over the environment. So we were able to put certain policies in place where the film projects could still continue, you know, with sanitation, masking, social distancing, and everything else. Like we were able to maneuver around and get it done. And so I was able to still, but that's not nothing that's going to generate any immediate revenue. You putting together a film project of any kind. I mean, it's
like months in a year. Like that could take a while.
Yeah, for it to really pay out for you. You know what I'm saying? And so that was that. And then I'm sitting here like, man, I got to figure out a way, because even me as a service provider, my phone stopped ringing and email stopped coming in because, like I said, entertainment as a whole began to slow down. And so I had to get creative. And so I'm like, man, I'm all right, but eventually if I don't do something soon, I may not be all right. So I started paying attention to what was going on in the world, like, how COVID was really shaping and changing society and people's day-to-day habits. And so I saw that the online learning thing became like essential. Like it was almost like the world changed overnight, where like the classroom was like a lost concept. You know what I mean? And so once I saw that, I'm like, man, they sending, because I know, I got children myself, and I know all kinds of other youth, like in whatever age bracket. So I'm seeing that college kids is getting sent home, high school kids is over with, middle school, elementary. I'm like, wow. So, but we still gotta education still has to continue. So what's the new wave? And then I saw that it was the online learning, like America. I'm not really sure about how the rest of the world did it, but I know America was swift to make that transition into the online learning platform, as far as setting up curriculums and a whole way for it to even happen. It was done relatively quick. And I saw that. I was like, oh, all right. And so I started to understand that in some shape, form, or fashion, the entertainment business was going to have to shift to being digital too. And you started to see that when the award shows was coming out during COVID, like it was all digital.
Yeah, like pre-tape performances, and like the people talking in front of green screens, but like no crowds or anything like that.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, watching the BET Awards was surreal.
It was weird. It was weird. Yeah, it was super weird. And so once I saw all that going on, that's when I came up with the idea of Iconic Plus Academy. Because I said my primary focus in industry is to provide opportunity and education, right? That's the sole focus of Iconic Quest, is to take the creative minds and the intellectual minds of some of the most remote cracks and crevices of the world, and give them a platform where they can be properly educated into what all of this is, as far as this profession, and also given opportunities to demonstrate their ability inside this profession, right? And so I do that like physically, like I do that in the field, like with my artists, with my team, with my business partners. I'm constantly providing opportunities for these individuals, and I'm also educating these individuals along the way. And so the new way for me to do that, because I couldn't do it in the field in my normal usual endeavors, was I created the online course. And I said, hey, I've been designated as the guy to go to. Like, you wouldn't believe before COVID, even still today, but I'm just saying how I got into Iconic Plus Academy, why I even thought this was even going to be a good idea. Because you wouldn't believe how many artists from all over the country, right? Because I travel, and so I'm personable in that sense, where when I go and I do something, like I make it my point to meet everybody and build a relationship with everybody that's involved in whatever I'm doing. So I meet people all over the place. I don't just show up and leave, you know what I mean? So in having these brief conversations with people I meet around the country, right? It's like we get into different things about industry, and then I start explaining certain things to them, and they're like, whoa, this dude know a lot about a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, they end up calling me, emailing me, DMing me, asking more questions as their career goes forward when they come across something. And it's like, yeah, let me call Peter, because I know he may know what I should do or what this means or whatever. And so I became the go-to guy when they have a question, Like, yo, let me call Peter. And so with that being said, I felt like me creating a format, a organized, structured format where I have all of this information that is usually inquired of me. If I had it all consolidated into one thing, and that might, like, the people might want that, they might need that, and they did. And so once I did that, mind you, everybody's in the house.
Yeah.
And so it's like they were bored, but they still wanted to pursue music. And it's like, after a while, you need something to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were on quarantine. And so this was something that they were still interested in, that they could pursue, and it was cost effective, and it worked. And so that helped me keep my lights on, you know what I'm saying, during the struggle. But I also was still able to provide the same service that I always wanted to provide, which is opportunity and education. Because mind you, once you complete the course, it's not like, okay, you just complete the course. You have a brand and a whole business and a product or service that's well developed and ready for you to now go out there and push and sell and be a competitor, right? So there's that. And then you have a certificate stating that you took this, right? And not only that, but we also offer you our resources upon completion of the course. Because come on, we have radio, we have film, we have music, like we have all kinds of resources as far as like major connections to labels and different affiliations that could be a benefit. And because it's not just for artists, the online course is for any professional in entertainment, right? Like if you're a music manager or a producer or artist, fashion designer, it don't matter what it is, but Iconic Quest, we embody all of that in terms of, our endeavors. Like we have our hands that have resources in every area. So when you complete the course, you have a free consultation, right? And so we sit down and we say, okay, now that you got your brand, now that you got your business, you got your logo, you got your product or service, you're ready to go. Like, how can we help you? Like, what direction do you want to take this, right? And then you say, hey, I just developed my production company brand. I'm gonna give you an example. I just developed my production company brand with you guys. Like, I took the course, I followed the steps, I got my LLC, I got everything. I got my first script done. I got it copywritten. Like, everything is done, right? And so it's like, okay, so what do you want to do? Like, do you want to try to sell that script, to a network or to or do you want to be an independent filmmaker, put your own money into it, and then have it put on a platform such as like Hulu? Like, what do you want to do? And then in that consultation, we'll figure out what you want to do. And then we help you in that direction. Because like I just told you, I'm doing a Netflix project right now, which means that a student who completed the thing came to me and said, hey, this is what I want to do. I have this idea. I want to put this together and I want to get this on Netflix. All right, cool. We're going to give you a criteria that you got to follow, of course. But if you meet the criteria and all the things that you need to have in order to do what you say you want to do, then we'll send it through. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, so that's what I was sitting in the house cooking up during COVID. I was trying to figure out how I can make some money, obviously, and still be a benefit to the entertainment community.
Wow, man. You sure do know how to do a pitch, man. Because I was like, everything about the way you set up that, it's like, yo, this is a gold mine. Like, I can already tell you a very like educated brother. Like, a lot about what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Like, people will definitely benefit from the Iconic Quest Academy. So as far as oh yeah, no problem. So with the Iconic Quest, well, first I was gonna ask you, where could they go to sign up or look into it for the resources, and then how much would they well, I guess they could just get that information from the site, but like, what would be a good where would they be able to find that information?
Right. So if you go on Instagram, you can follow the page on Instagram. It's Iconic Quest _Academy on Instagram, and the link for the academy, for Iconic Quest Academy, is in the bio. Right. And so if you go to the page, you click the link in the bio, you can actually preview what the curriculum looks like, and it gives you kind of like a headline of what each kind of like phase is about, and the course is $500 one-time fee. There's no time limit on the course. you can actually do it at your leisure because, again, we all have children and, we're working professionals and in relationships. So we have to divide our time. So I didn't want to make it to where it's like, oh, it's a 90-day course or, you know what I mean? Like you can do it at, like, if it takes you 2 years to complete it, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you are the creator. So can't nobody put any restraints or restrictions on creativity. And that's what this is. It's a creative process. You're building a brand that requires creativity. So you do it at a time when you feel like it works for you. And so, yeah, I recommend it for everybody. It's highly beneficial. Yeah, I believe it's like 9 chapters, and the chapters consist of reading material, a lecture video for myself where I actually elaborate on what is written because, different people have different learning abilities. So it's like some people is like, the video is not really going to do a lot for me. I'm probably not going to remember half of what he said, but they can retain the literature though. And so reading for them is better. And so I chose to do both to accommodate both types of learning styles. So if you're like a bookworm and like reading is your thing, the reading material is there. But if you're more of like a visual learner, like a hands-on kind of person, then you'll probably benefit better from the lecture videos where I pretty much go over the literature, the reading material, but I just kind of elaborate and explain using my own personal experience and insight because I've been in the industry for 20 years.
Nice, man. Like, and I think it's dope that because I thought it was just for artists, but it's dope that it's basically for every aspect of the music industry, the entertainment industry in general. Well, I know
and I was able not to cut you off. I apologize, but
no,
I was able to lay that out because you got to remember, everybody coming into this is 2 things. It's 3 reasons why I did that. Everybody coming into this, one, may not even know what they want to do. And so the very first chapter outlines all the different positions. Well, not all, but the main key different positions, the popular positions that people come into entertainment and want to occupy. Like DJ, producer, artist, fashion designer, business manager, whatever. Like I have all the main key producer, all the key positions that videographer, photographer, all the key, radio personality, all the key positions that, people want to occupy when they come in, I have them. So it's like the first chapter, the very first phase of the course is you figuring out what role you want to play in this. And so I outline each position and what each, like the responsibilities, like, everything that goes along with, so because a lot of people say, yeah, I want to be a DJ because they see the guy in the club with the music, getting free drinks with the girls, and he looks cool, but they don't really understand what being a DJ really entails. And so I outline all that. So one, it's for everybody because some people don't even know what they want to do. And so I help them figure that out. And then 2, you may know what you want to do, but you don't fully understand what comes along with what it is you think you want to do. And so I still wanted to highlight everything that goes along with what you want to do, what you signed up in the course for, but I also want to show you what everything else is about in case you see something else that you feel like would be a better fit for you. Because you got to remember, some people come into entertainment and say, yo, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a producer, because in the neighborhood they grew up in, they've only been around rappers and producers. So that's the only thing they've been informed about. They don't know about being an actor or engineer or a fashion. They don't know about this stuff. So I let them see just in case they want to change their mind. Right. And then 3, I myself, like, but my story and my background is like, I had to learn all of this stuff because, like me being in entertainment, it was like a life or death situation. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like this had to work. Like Iconic Quest as a company, as a brand, as a lifestyle, it had, as a concept, it had to work for me personally. And so I couldn't sit around and say, okay, I'm just going to focus on artist management, because what if that don't work? Then I'm screwed. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, I have a lot of things that I would have to get done on behalf of this artist. We need photos, we need videos, we need, EPKs, we need websites, we need a lot of things. And so me personally, I'm going to have to come out of pocket and either pay for all these things or find an artist with a big enough budget that's going to pay for all of these things. All of that was too unrealistic.
Yeah.
So I learned how to do all of these things myself. So I, as a brand, as a company, can fully service my artists without having to outsource anyone. And so in order for me to do that, I had to physically learn how to do all of these things I would hire somebody to do. And so that's, like I said, that's how I got into fashion and film and photography and all kinds of things that I'm into, like, events and all kinds of, I do it. And because I wanted to be able to provide that as a service and as a contribution to the game. And so that's the third reason why I made it for everybody, because it's been of great benefit for me to learn all of these positions and actually occupy all of these positions. Because you gotta understand, I don't know if you remember when we talked about my career in radio. I was in radio for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm not even doing radio no more. I'm doing film and I'm doing fashion. I'm doing music. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can take the experience that I have and the knowledge that I've learned and do anything, like anything, So I want to give them the same opportunity, you know what I mean? To not limit themselves to say, okay, I'm just going to do this. Because I'm going to tell you something else. In order for you to get some real money in this game, you got to be able to wear more than one hat, because nobody is just a rapper. Yeah. Like, look at DJ Envy. Shout out to DJ Envy. Like, he don't get enough credit, because DJ Envy is not just, the face of the Breakfast Club. Like, this man got real estate, he got the car shows and everything. Like, he got a lot of different things going on. Now, all the other stuff he got going on doesn't necessarily correlate with hip hop. But my point is, there's enough things to do in hip hop that you can pick something else, because you just doing one thing is not going to be sufficient for you to stay alive in this industry. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have your hands in like so many different things, because if one of them fall, you gotta have something else you can, you could pick up to keep the ball rolling. Like, I know you mentioned the Netflix series, since you're working with Netflix. So tell me about like kind of like your life and how you got started, like how you kind of got to this point, like in your journey.
Yeah. And so I started out as an artist. I grew up, just writing and recording music. Like, I was doing it at a time when it wasn't even cool to do. I'm 35 years old. At the time when I was really getting deep in music, I was back and forth between New York City and like the DMV area, like Maryland, Washington, D.C. And so in Washington, D.C., there was a genre of music called go-go. And so, to be a rapper or to want to be a rapper, that was like trying to get an NBA. It was like, that was for dudes with record deals. Like, where we come from, ain't no record deals coming through there. And so, you trying to be a rapper, it was like a joke. It's like, it's a pipe dream. It'll never happen. It's not like all these independent opportunities these artists got now. You know what I'm saying? It was like, if you wouldn't get signed to Def Jam, that was it. So I started out as an artist. I kind of breezed through it. I would say probably like around 15, 16 years old. I got offered my first record deal with Rockefeller by Jay-Z and Dame directly. Yep. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Dame. I ended up not doing the deal just because it's just, even though I was young, I always had a sense of direction of where I was trying to go. You know what I mean? That's how I got to where I am now. I've been following that same direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been running the same marathon for a long time. So I knew that even though it appeared like the move, for the direction that I was trying to go, that wasn't the move. And so I opted out of it. And I would say probably like around 19, I got offered another deal with Sony. And so same thing, I opted out of that one. It wasn't going in the direction of where I was going. You know what I'm saying? And so I would probably say like around 23, 24, I got offered a third recording contract by Universal. This one I was going to take, right? This one I was going to take. This one was the direction they were prepared to go the direction that I needed to go from all angles and aspects. But I ended up getting arrested, right? And
damn.
Yeah, and so the one deal that I was really prepared to take, it got squandered due to my legal troubles. And so from that point, I was removed from society for 5 years. I went in with an 18-year sentence. I ended up doing 5 years, and then I made parole. Thankful, alhamdulillah for that. And so with that being said, while I'm in there, I'm like, man, I can't come out and be the 30-year-old rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just wasn't my vibe. Like, I couldn't see myself, because I had such a buzz. Like, it was crazy, because before, I was rapping, but I was also managing models. This is how I actually got attention onto my music, because
Okay.
I snuck in through the back door with the girls. And what I mean is, I started managing models. Like, this is before Instagram, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm getting them booked for covers. I'm talking about big covers. I'm talking about King Magazine, Smooth Magazine, Black Men. Like, I'm getting them those, I'm like 21, 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? And so that's getting me access to all these exclusive industry parties, because just like how the video vixens get brought out now, they was getting brought out then. The cover girls was getting brought out to all the parties, everything. And so, of course, I'm the manager. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I'm going. But while I'm in there, I had the opportunity to build the right relationships and have the right conversations. And then some of that energy started to focus from the girls, started to focus on me. Like, hey, wait a minute, I like this guy, man. What else he got going on? And so, from there, like I said, I snuck through the back door. Because, a lot of artists got to know that too, man. Like, look, there's no shame in actually gaining access to the industry by other means. Like, don't think like if you don't make it in initially as a rapper that, you failed or something. Like, bro, Fresh Montana, he sells out tours around the world. I'm talking about Dubai, Africa, everywhere. And let me tell you something about Fresh Montana. He started as a shooter. He started as a cameraman, bro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he was doing
that's
DVDs.
Dope.
He was doing DVDs, bro. He was recording all the other rappers, and he was putting them on his DVD. He was interviewing them, and then having a music video play behind the interview. Like, this is back when it was on DVD. It was called the Cocaine City. Yeah, look it up.
Oh, okay.
After this interview,
yeah, I have heard of that.
Yeah, that was French Montana. He had like 1,000 Cocaine City volumes, and that's how he got on, because he was doing a DVD. It was like a Smack DVD. You know what I'm saying? Or like a Sub-Zero joint. And so he was getting all the rappers, but he's building relationships with the rappers. And he's getting on features and songs with he's paying them for features and all. And so now he's French Montana. And so he snuck in through the back door. He didn't get signed to Bad Boy because of his rapping. He got signed to Bad Boy because of his relationships over the course of 15 years of him walking around as the camera guy.
Wow, that's dope. I did not know that.
Yes,
that just goes to show there's no one path to get into this. There's no one path to make your headway.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I definitely encourage everybody to, explore. Don't be afraid to be one way. Like, explore yourself, like explore your ideas, explore your creativity. Like, even if you think people look at you weird because you want to start doing something that you ain't never did before, like, that's another thing. Like, think about if a dude has been like, I don't know, say a photographer for like 10 years, your man has been he's been a photographer 10 years since you've known him. Like, everything y'all ever done in the realm of entertainment, he was always taking pictures. And then all of a sudden he come to you and he say, yeah, yo, I think I'm about to start making beats. Like, the average friend would look at him like, man, go ahead. You ain't no producer. You know what I'm saying? And see, even though it's just jokes, because, you wouldn't mean no harm in saying that, but that would discourage some people. You know what I'm saying? To try new things, I'm saying, because they might feel like, nah, you right, that ain't me. I ain't no producer. But the whole time, they told Kanye that he wasn't no rapper. They told him keep making beats. Like, look, he told Jay, like, yo, I got a verse. Like, look, man, stick to making beats. And then he became one of the greatest rappers that's ever gonna live, unfortunately, because he got half his brain intact. You know what I'm saying? But you can't deny the fact that he's gonna die a legend for his music contributions, bro. And they told him don't rap. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Wow, man, it's never too late. So, as a manager and as somebody that's like educating other artists and developing their careers, What is one? I'll ask you two questions. What is one thing that you can't stand, like that rappers do that they should cut out? And then what is one thing you look for in a rapper or in any type of rapper, singer, whatever?
Man, it's just one thing, huh?
If
All
you can
right, so
narrow it down, if you could just narrow
man,
it down.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, first of all, let me say this: being a business manager is definitely a thankless job.
I've
Um,
heard.
yeah, it's rough, man, because it's almost like, and this doesn't go for every artist, shout out for the artists who actually do understand and respect the game. But
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of these youngins, man, who don't understand and respect the game, it's like when things are going well, it's like, yeah, it's all because of the artists. They're doing
Mm-hmm.
such an amazing job at being an artist. That's why everything is lit right now, right? It has nothing to
Right.
do with the manager, right? But when everything is going wrong or not as well as everyone expected, then it's the manager's fault. And the rapper had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they ready to fire you now. You know what I'm saying? When things ain't going well, as if they had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say one thing that I really dislike about artists these days that they really need to stop doing is having false expectations. False expectations is the number one killer of everyone's career that has died thus far. They came into this expecting more than what had already been earned or deserved. Meaning,
Okay.
like you can't stop, like these guys got to stop looking at these other artists that are well established and comparing themselves to them and think that they should get a similar result expediently.
Mm.
You understand? Like, don't look at Future and say, yeah, I'm trying to be lit like that. That's cool to want to be lit like that, but understand the time and sacrifice that it took and the money that it took for Future to become the Future we know today. Like, I can remember when Future first came out, man. Like, it was a while ago, and
Yeah.
so he's just now coming into that position of being considered an icon at this point. But it's been a while, and so artists really need to stop coming in here with these false expectations of what this is, because this is not the shortcut to life. Actually, it's the longer, more agonizing road to life.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why, because the shortcuts of, if we got to compare the two, the entertainment world versus the regular route of life, like, you go to school, you go to college, you get a career,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Like, we had to compare the two and say which one is the shortcut. That's the shortcut. Going to school, going to college, getting a career, getting married, buying a house. That's the shortcut. You know why? Because that format is already a proven concept to work. All you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is follow it. The steps are already outlined. The whole program and the nice financial package associated with your efforts is already there. It's nothing to talk about. Like, all you got to do
Mm-hmm.
is stick to the script. Simple. Walk a straight line. You feel what I'm saying? But over here, there's a lot of uncertainty. You understand what I'm saying? There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of unknown variables and missing pieces. Like, you have to constantly, it's like a Rubik's cube. You have to constantly reassemble the pieces every day to get everything
Mm-hmm.
lined up, because it's not going to be lined up for you. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
not only that, you don't have the security of a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's like, this is the jungle, right? And this is what I mean by having false expectations, because they think this is easy. This is the jungle, meaning you you have to hunt, and then after you hunt it, you have to kill it. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't hunt, you don't kill. If you don't kill, you don't eat. This is entertainment, because everybody's independent. And
Mm-hmm.
so that means everybody's out here fending for themselves, living off of their own ideas and their own efforts and their own financial resources. So if your ideas, efforts, or financial resources run out, you're in a sticky situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no 401k, there is no, vacation time, paid vacation time while you go off on the beach and get your thoughts together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, this is happening minute by minute, day by day. And it's a rat race. And everybody around you wants the same thing that you want. And we're all competing. And the minute that you lose your step, somebody's going to step in your place. And so you have to come in humble with your eyes open, your ears open, ready to learn, ready to understand, and ready to put forth your best effort.
Facts. Yeah, like you said, it's not easy. You can't just put in the application in another spot and think, you're just gonna pick up where you left off. It don't work like that.
No. Like, you have to understand the nature of this business, bro. Like, if I wanted to be like, I can't just wake up tomorrow morning and go in the hospital and be like, yo, what's up, man? Hey, look, man, my name Grams, right? Hey, listen, I'm trying to start operating on people, man. Hey, what they call it? Hey, Mo. Hey, 8 years people go to school to get it, to learn to be a surgeon and go in there and operate on people. What makes you think that hip hop or anything else is any different, man? Like, you have to do your research. You have to do your homework, bro. Like, study the people who did this before you and understand what worked and what didn't. Because you just coming in here with your music in your handout is not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a science to this.
Yo, that's definitely, man. Like, so we're about to wrap up, but yo, I really appreciate you, spending the time. Like, you dropped a lot of gems in this interview.
Yes,
like, definitely check out Iconic Quest Academy. Make sure you check. Do you have a name for the Netflix series yet? Or
yes, Life is like a movie. Life is like a movie. Yeah, we're starting casting auditions in Atlanta, Georgia, August 4th. So if you want more information, you can just email us at lifeislikeamovie@gmail.com, and we'll get right back to you if you want to come out for the audition.
Yeah, if you're in the Atlanta area, or if you got the ability to make it down there, make sure y'all make it down there. Once again, thank you, brother, for joining me.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Continued success with everything that you got going on, man.
My man.
And I'll make sure I put the links to the Academy and the Instagram page down in the bio of the video once it uploads to YouTube. But
my man,
until next time, it's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, Peter Grams, Dangerous Minds. Much love.
All right, bro.
I ever let these niggas think they competition. First they gon' step up, now they running, crying, playing victim. They made me get apocalyptic to be taken serious. So how many rappers I gotta kill to get my recognition? This time I'm coming vicious. No more Mr. Nice Guy, I'm coming with a vengeance. Cause I feel like you need to get on your back on me while I was grieving.